If you are doing MYP of International Baccalaureate Mathematics, I hope that this video will be useful for you. We're going to pay attention for probability unit, and my students are going to take a test this Friday. I hope this video will be useful for them. I want to generalize all information about the tree diagram. Remember that tree diagram we use to represent the information and possible outcomes, where it is 2 or 3 possible alternative outcomes we have. So let's say that we are tossing a coin. We have head and tail, 2 outcomes, and with 1/2 if the coin is biased. Yeah, sometimes these probabilities could be written in different ways. So let's say that coin is not biased and so on. Okay. So of course this sum of these 2 probabilities must be equal to 1. So because they are complementary events. Also here we could add some event, let's say spinner with the A, B, C parts, and let's create by our example 103, 103 for all of them, 103, 103, and 103. So now it's easier to list all possible outcomes. So here for the first way, let me underline the first way. For this way, it's actually probability of have head first and then A, letter A. So it is simply multiplication because the 2 events are independent. So it's 1/6. And we do the same for the remaining thing. We can use to show the second way with the head and B, so that it should be equal to probability of HP 1/2 times 1/3. So, and we can list all the possible outcomes. So it's actually clear that all possible outcomes are 6. Yeah, so we have 6 total outcomes. And now it depends what question they are asking us. So it's could be formulated in different ways. Say that find the probability of having B in the spinner. So B. So it is 2 possible ways to have B. It could be head and B and or. So we're saying or if we're going to add them, or vice versa. If we're going to add them, it means that we are using the word or. Probability of tail and B. And now using these 2 ways, let me erase the first way. Yeah, this one. And the second way is TB. Yeah. Let's put the numbers now. So it's, let me write it here, 1/2 times 1/3 plus the same 1/2, 1/3. It's because the probabilities are distributed with the equal probabilities. So it's 1/6 plus 1/6. Together it is 2/6, or after reducing 1/3. Okay. Yeah, the more complicated questions you will be asked in diploma program in both high level and standard level. And for now, let's solve the prepared question. I have prepared a question for you. So diagram below shows the probability for events A and B with P of not A. So we're spelling this probability of not A, probability of not A. And as I said previously, that here 1/5, yeah, probability of A. So P must be complementary event. So we know the formula. If we use the formula, we will write this way. So it's 1. Usually students intuitively apply this formula, and we can write immediately the value of P. So for A is P is equal to 1 minus 1/5, which is 4/5. Right. Find probability of B. So we need to find probability of B. So that's to say here, especially we have 2 ways to have B. So let me show them first it could be A and B, and the second one not A and B, right? And this is a brilliant example to show these two ways in terms of probabilities, because the numbers are different comparing with the previous case. So it's A and B, we can use intersection sign up to us, or it could be not A and B. Don't be scared with these signs, it's simply A and not A. Right, A and B, so probability of A is 1/5 times probability of B 1/4 plus 4/5, sorry, and multiplied by 3/8. Now we need just calculate. So let's calculate it out. So it's 2/20 plus 12/40, right? So now here 2, so we have 16 out of 40, or after multiplication, after simplification, we will have 4 out of 10, or let's say 0.4. Okay, well done. Now C, it's written this strange thing, especially for those who have missed or didn't catch this topic on my lesson. Let's solve it out. So C part now. We know that this is conditional probability formula. Let me write it down. This formula will be given to you during the summative for my class. So it means that if it is not A here, it means that the same here. Now, let's find the way of not A and B. So what's a not A and B? I will erase these two ways of previous step. Not A and B. So not A and B. So it is 4/5 times 3/8. And probability of B we have found in previous step, isn't it? Let's have a look. So this one, right? Now let's put it out. So 0.4. Now we should simply calculate. So 3/10, so 0.3 times over 0.4, it is 3/4. So writing the answer, probability of not A given B is equal to 3/4. Now all the questions are answered. This is a worked solution. So this is a small example how we can apply our tree diagram in probability unit. If you have any questions, please subscribe, share with the friends, answer the question in comments to let me know what kind of video I should make for you. Goodbye.